Hey there, 8th graders, and welcome to today's Explainer. Did you know a completely destroyed forest can actually heal itself way faster than you'd think? Well, today we are taking a hands-on journey to explore exactly how that works. We're not just going to sit here and talk about abstract science concepts. We're actually going to connect the real, physical dirt of an ecosystem straight to the spiritual growth happening in your own hearts. We are talking about restoration in bloom, and honestly, it's going to be an amazing experience. So grab your gear and let's dive right into this.
But before we even think about touching any dirt, let's ground ourselves, pun absolutely intended, with this incredible scripture. He has made everything beautiful in its time. That's Ecclesiastes 3:11. It's just amazing to think that everything we're about to model today perfectly reflects His timing. God is the ultimate restorer, guys. Even when a landscape or, a life looks totally messy or even completely destroyed, there is a beautiful, specifically timed plan for its renewal.
So here is our flight plan for today. We're going to start by modeling change in the classroom, actually building out a succession simulation, and exploring disasters and recovery. Then we'll pivot to the spiritual side of succession, figure out how you can become a community restorer, and finally, wrap things up with how education, morality, and peace all tie together.
All right, first up, modeling change in the classroom. We are literally bringing the ecosystem to your desk.
So, what exactly is a succession simulation? Basically, it's a way to model the slow, steady changes in an ecosystem using real-world materials. And yes, that means you officially have permission to play in the dirt indoors. Simulation activities are just so powerful because they let us hit the fast-forward button on time. We actually get to see and understand these incredibly slow ecological changes in a way that just reading a textbook never ever could. We get to watch, in real time, how life bounces back.
Now, observation is our absolute key here. Over the next few days, we're going to watch, closely analyze the changes, and predict what happens next. And when we present our findings to the class, we're going to reflect deeply on both the ecological and the spiritual renewal that's taking place. You got to pay close attention because we're going to see firsthand how really tiny steps lead to major, mind-blowing transformations.
Moving on to the really fun part, building your succession simulation. It's time to get our hands dirty. Okay, so this is the actual physical experiment you'll be managing. Let's walk through the setup. Step 1, we're starting with trays of rich, dark, gritty soil. Step 2, we add in the rough texture of rocks and the soft, damp green of moss to really build out our terrain. Step 3, we carefully plant our seeds. And finally, Step 4, we apply disturbances. You're going to feel the textures and smell the earth as you build this foundation. It's a total sensory experience.
And doing this brilliantly illustrates a core truth. Small steps lead to major transformations. I mean, dropping a tiny seed into the dirt might seem totally insignificant right now, right? But nature patiently works toward massive growth. A towering, majestic forest starts with a seed exactly like the ones you'll be holding in your hands. Next up, disasters, recovery, and pioneer species. Basically, what happens when things fall apart.
Now for the dramatic part. We're looking at two different types of disturbances that we're going to introduce to our trays. One type is fire, which represents natural disasters. And hey, don't worry, it's completely simulated so the classroom is 100% safe. The other type is human activity, like digging things up or paving over the ground. We want to notice how the ecosystem reacts and recovers entirely differently to destructive heat compared to, say, a mechanical shovel. Which leads me to a really great Socratic homework question for you. How do pioneer species help new life begin? I really want your minds working on this as we observe our trays over the next few days. Pioneer species are basically the tough, resilient first responders of nature. They're the mosses and lichens that can literally grow on bare rock when absolutely nothing else can. They break it down into soil so other plants can eventually survive. So how exactly do they pave the way for new life?
Which brings us to a beautiful parallel, the spiritual side of succession. Parallel paths of renewal.
Now, this is where the science connects directly to you. Think about a forest regrowing after a massive fire versus a human heart being restored after a painful loss. Guys, it's the exact same pattern. The science happening in your little tray is actually a mirror of the human soul. Just like ecosystems go through the slow, steady growth after a massive disturbance, we go through emotional and spiritual growth after life's hardest challenges. And this is the core takeaway I want you to remember. God teaches us through nature that restoration is absolutely possible even after severe loss.
Through faith, patience, and obedience, your life is designed to bounce back, exactly like the earth. No matter what kind of disaster has struck, the very mechanics of God's creation are built for restoration.
All right, shifting gears slightly, becoming a community restorer, taking action in your world.
Because this isn't just about our own internal healing, right? It's about taking action outwardly. How can you be a restorer in your own community? Think back to those pioneer species we talked about. How can you step into messy situations and be a first responder for healing in your school or your neighborhood or your home, rather than being someone who causes harm? As we observe our trays, here is exactly what we'll be outlining in our journals. You'll log the materials you used, analyze the role of those pioneer species, and then connect the slow, daily growth of your plants straight back to your own personal lessons on patience and growth. We are also going to note the absolute critical importance of taking the time to just quietly observe.
So, the crucial point of all this observation is to learn to value the small beginnings. We have to learn to steward the earth with deep care and appreciate that the grandest, most beautiful restorations always start with a single, tiny, seemingly insignificant seed. Seriously, don't despise the small steps in your simulation or in your life.
And that leads us perfectly into our final section: education, morality, and peace, the Hero Smart philosophy.
This brings us to a really powerful conclusion. Education without morality will hurt. Gaining brilliant scientific knowledge without having a moral compass to guide it can lead to painful, destructive outcomes. We don't just want you to be smart. We want you to be wise, and we want you to be good. I mean, think about it. What is the actual point of being incredibly smart if we just use that knowledge to make choices that hurt ourselves or the people around us? Intellectual smarts absolutely must be paired with character. Otherwise, education just becomes another type of disturbance. We want your intellectual capability to be deeply rooted in godly morality. And the reward for pairing those two things together? It's incredible. Romans 8:6 and 7 promises peace of mind to everyone who keeps their minds spiritual. Engaging with this scientific content, with this hands-on dirt and seeds and water, while maintaining a spiritual mind, brings true lasting peace. That is our experience, and that is exactly what we want for every single one of you.
So, I'll leave you with this final, provocative thought to take with you into the classroom today. Will you steward the earth, value the small beginnings, and let the science of ecological succession inspire your own spiritual growth? Have an absolutely amazing time modeling the beautiful restoration of God's creation.